Why would you give your phone number then?
Okay,
I would give a fake one.
I'm overwhelmed a lot of times with it. There's just like a lot going on. It's hard to keep up with. And I go through periods of being like, all right, I got all these matches and I'm just not responding to any of them. I just can't handle it. And at some point, women will get to a period where they'll be like, what's your fucking deal?
Yes. I recall.
Yeah. Now I feel like I have to leave this.
I'm feeling triggered.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Menage-A-Pod, the hysterical comedy podcast about sex, dating, relationships, and whatever else we feel like talking about. I'm your co-host, TJ. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, friend, and beautiful sun-kissed blonde woman sitting across the table from me.
Thank you. Well, hello.
Wow. I want to set the tone for today. It's
about me being sun-kissed?
It's a conciliatory tone of love and friendship.
Oh.
It's really building on, for those of our regular listeners who have been with us for a while, if you listen to our best and worst of 2019, 2020, you would know that one of our resolutions is to work on being better friends and communicating more. So
that is very, very true. Actually, you know what's funny? Speaking of that episode, one of Jenny's friends listens and she texts her and she goes, "Is Jenna okay? I was really sorry to hear about her breakup." And she's like, "Yeah, she's fine." Oh, goodness. So what's going on with you, man?
Not too much, but before we touch base on what's going on with us and what's new, I want to take a quick second to tell everybody about our sponsor. You ready for this, Jenna?
We have a sponsor?
We do. It's really big news, too.
Okay, tell me.
We have an awesome sponsor. This sponsor is going to go down as one of the most influential forces in media history. Mm-hmm. Do you know who it is yet?
Is it you?
It's us.
Oh. I mean, you're the influencer, but yeah, okay.
Guys. So we are sponsoring the podcast today. I don't want to give you a whole lot of information right now, but people have been reaching out a lot and asking about merch, t-shirts and swag and various things they might be able to order. So we have a store going up this week, and a little bit later, Jenna is going to have some more details on that for you.
Yeah, get excited, guys.
I'm stoked.
Already buying all of it. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm stoked. I can't wait for everyone to hear more about it, though.
I feel like on every date you have, you should bring some of our merch as a consolation prize. You're like, "Oh, this was a bad date. Here, have a sticker. Here's a T-shirt."
how presumptuous of you to think that.
Well, I mean, they're not all going to be knocked out of the park. So I'm just saying, keep it in your back pocket for something that ends badly. You could just give them away, stockpile them, just keep them in your trunk. And you're like, okay, so we're probably never going to see each other again, but here's a really cool T-shirt.
It's like parting gifts.
Yeah. You're like, it wasn't a total loss. And thanks for the free advertising.
Yeah, it's like, you did not win today, but Bob, tell her what she's going home with.
A brand new hoodie. That's kind of cool.
Teaser.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oops.
Oops, I did it again. Calm down,
merch,
Britney Spears.
They figured.
Well, now that we got that out of the way, I'm super excited about the episode. There's been so much going on lately. I know Jenna's got some fun stories. I have some goddamn ridiculous stories. And we had our first live show.
Yeah, we did. I know. So we don't have a guest today. It's just the two of us. And we're just going to kind of catch you guys up on life and things like housekeeping stuff and ridiculous stories, because TJ is beaming across the table from me right now. He's got a lot of shit going on. Got all these stories for us. Too much time on his hands. You are the perfect example of someone who has too much time on their hands.
What is this?
And they get into
about
trouble.
The devil's playground or idle hands or the devil's.
Oh, yeah, that's you. 100% right now. But I'm loving it. I mean, selfishly, I'm loving it because it's doing wonders for the podcast. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we've actually so this is crazy. This week is going to be our most downloaded week ever. Last week was our second most downloaded week ever. This month is our most downloaded month ever. And we actually had a 57% increase in downloads this month over last month.
Super, super, super exciting stuff. So anyway, so no guests today, just us. I would say I'm sorry, but you're welcome.
Yeah, we're just sitting here jerking each other off.
Yeah,
this
pretty
is gonna
much.
Be a real.
It's gonna get awkward.
Yeah.
It's gonna get real awkward really quickly.
I'm actually gonna be finger banging Jenna.
Whoa!
Right now, guys.
Miles is like, what is going on right now?
Right now, imagine my hands are in a gun.
No,
bang, bang,
God,
bang, bang. Get
stop
it? Get it? Bang,
Oh
bang.
my
Finger
God.
bang.
All right, enough. Okay.
Yeah, so as you guys know, friend of the pod, previous guest, and local Chicago content creators, Overheard in Chicago. So if you're not following them, make sure you follow them on Instagram. That is at overheard_in_Chicago. After meeting them, they've been really gracious about, sharing our content and introducing us to new people. And we've had some other guests on, including Jess Zimlich from the 26 and Not Counting episode. She was wonderful. It's been really fun collaborating with them. And as we'd mentioned in a few other episodes, they asked us to participate in a live show, and that occurred this past Saturday.
Yeah.
Want to talk a little bit about it?
I do. I met my future baby daddy there.
And
God, it was so hot. I know that you want me to talk about the actual event, which I will, but I'd like to preface this with he's probably the most beautiful man I've seen in a very, very long time. And he works there.
Second most beautiful man. And he works where? We might as well give him some prep.
He works at Goat Climate and Cryo. I wish I follow him now on Instagram because I stalked the shit out of him afterwards. I want to say it's like Andre Tate is his name. Andre Tate Training. You guys should look him up. He's super hot. And then you can DM me about it, but also DM him about it. I'm sure he will love it. Also, you should take his classes because all the videos I see, he's shirtless and he looks like it's a really good workout. I would die. So you guys should go for me and then report back. Anyway, so it was a really, really fun event. Basically, we were there for comedic relief and we just kind of worked the room and we got some really, really great footage that our friend Sean, who was on the podcast.
Sean Ely of Number 6 with Cheese.
Yep. And he was amazing and gracious enough to shoot the event for us and put together a very, very cool wrap-up sizzle reel that I'm sure we'll share somewhere. Where are we putting it?
You did say Andre Tate personal training, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I just found him.
So hot, right?
Yeah. I mean,
that body though. Yikes.
I mean, I remember him from that night. He's a good looking man.
Yeah.
I mean, as a hetero, cisgendered dude, I can say my downstairs jiggles when I see this man.
Yes. I mean, honestly, you'd have to be blind to say no.
No, I mean, at this point, it's not straight, it's not gay, it's art. That's art right there.
Yeah, he's really beautiful. He's got dimples and he's got great, he's just the whole package. Although, sadly, I could not see his package because there's this video of him that, of course, I went deep down the rabbit hole of Instagram on his page. And I know there's a joke there, right?
Is this going to be the first episode?
It's the first porn.
Is this the first episode that we ever get a restraining order off of?
It's possible. It's possible. He's doing these squats with his German Shepherd on his shoulders, and his legs are crazy muscular, but then there's a towel right in front. And I was like, can we just move that down a little bit? So he is very talented, but I've never taken his class, but now I'm tempted.
By talented, you just mean you'd like to sit on his face.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to that, but I also would take his class. So guys, you really should just check it out. Also, and of course there was another woman there who was amazing. And I want to take her beginner class. Her name was Leah. What's her Instagram?
Train with Leah. Yeah. TrainWithlea.
Yeah. And she was awesome. And she teaches a lot of classes, but one of the ones that I'm interested in is the beginner one, because I was like, how fucking long are these classes? And she's like, they're only 30 minutes. And I was like, And then I watched some of the videos online and I was like, you're sweaty. It's a full body workout. It's insane.
But then you realized you needed to work on your cardio if you were ever going to throw down with Andre.
Listen, yeah, I got to get my shit together because if we were to, I would be so tired. I don't know. I feel like I've got to step up my game. Anyway, everyone should check this place out. The classes looked amazing. And the space itself was really cool. The artwork was really cool. I don't know. I just had never been in there. So it was fun. And then of course, the event itself was super successful. There were a lot of people there. I don't know if there were any, there were matches, but I don't know. I wish we could do a where are they now follow up to see if they ever went out. But it was just really fun. Lots of food, lots of drinking, lots of hanging out, lots of socializing.
Guys.
And we'll post the video somewhere. TJ, that's your thing. Where are we going to post that?
Well, so we have about a 2.5-minute video. Yeah. It's kind of a hit reel of the evening. Like we said, Sean Ely from Number 6 with Cheese put that together for us, and we're going to have it on our YouTube channel, so you can just look on YouTube for Menage-A-Podcast. You can also search for More Than Just a Quickie, because that was the name of the event. It's pretty funny. I get roasted pretty hard in it, so anyone out there who wants to see me taking a few shots, you should...
It's like just a live version of the podcast with other people.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's just me shooting my shot and talking shit to a bunch of strangers, and
it's good,
and it's funny, and sometimes they get me.
It's good. We actually made TJ jump in the speed dating because there at one point there weren't enough men there, so we were like, TJ, jump in, and of course. Not even reluctantly, he was like, okay. And then there was like, I don't know, smoke coming off of his feet because he like ran in there so fucking fast. He was like, I'll do it. And I was like, yeah, I know.
It was like,
he like jumped in.
The Roadrunner.
Yeah, totally. Like jumped in. And anyway, so we've got some good footage. We'll share that with you guys too. So it was really, really fun. And anyway, thanks again, Overheard in Chicago. Lovely ladies. We really appreciate being a part of that. And then hopefully we'll be able to build on that coming soon.
Yeah, I totally agree. Looking forward to that. Beyond the recap on our event with Over in Chicago, which was fucking incredible, I know you've got some crazy stuff happening.
I have a really funny story.
Tell me.
Well, it felt really funny the night it happened because I was drunk, but like, I don't know, you tell me. So there was this guy that I went out with. I don't know if you remember him, but like we hung out for like almost a full year on and off. He was from New Jersey, and he was very charming. On our first date, we went for, tacos. Surprising, I know. And he brought me chocolates. He was just like such a gentleman, really nice guy. And like had me over for dinner a couple times, like whatever. It was fun. We had a really nice time, but it was like consistent for a couple months. And then he like travels a lot, and so we fell off and we stopped talking, and I don't know what happened, but like on and off pretty much for like a year. And I always thought it was super weird because I was like, why is this guy like I can't figure him out, like I don't know what he wants from me. Anyway, the last time I saw him was actually 2 weeks before I met Rob. He came over, cooked me dinner in my kitchen, which is frightening. I didn't even know anything in there worked, but he came in and cooked me dinner. And like in the summertime when you're up, there are these weird little like gnat things that come in droves. So like if I sit out on that patio in June, it's like impossible until nighttime to sit out there because there's these weird gnats.
Those are called vagina flies.
Ew, no.
I think it's time to address your hygiene,
Ew,
Gena.
stop it. No, they're disgusting.
You guys heard it here first. Episode 56 of Menage-A-Pod.
God.
Gena has vagina flies.
Really? Funny.
I think it is.
I don't think it is. I think it's gross and untrue. Anyway, it gets really hot, obviously, when he was cooking. So we left this back door open in the kitchen and had dinner. And then we came back in the kitchen and there were like hundreds. I'm not even kidding. Okay, maybe that's a stretch, but like about 100 of them just all over the ceiling. And the sweet, sweet man spent the next like 35 minutes vacuuming these things off of my ceiling. I was like, this is a good guy. He's great.
He's not intimidated by vagina flies.
Oh my God, shut up. And so then anyway, we hung out a little bit after that night, and then he left to kiss me goodbye, whatever. I never heard from him again.
Yeah, I mean, you put a man to work.
I didn't put him to work. I told him I would do it, and he was like, absolutely not. He was like, I'll handle it. Like,
yeah, and then he
go have a glass of wine. Just sit here and keep me company.
As soon as you walked in the other room, he texted his friends.
No,
He's
I
like,
kept him company.
buddies, we got a vagina fly infestation over here. I gotta go out of here.
I kept him,
abort mission.
I kept him company. Anyway, it was very nice, and I was really surprised I never heard from him again. Anyway, okay, so now
bring it.
My boss, my CEO, and myself and some clients, we did like a pop-up happy hour. And so we're sitting down, we're sitting at the table. I see him walk in. He walks in on a date. My face just like drops and my boss is like, what's wrong? What happened? I was like, I've been out on a date with that guy. And I kind of like tell him the story really quickly. The whole night goes by. So like a couple hours go by. He's still with her. They're still like sitting down chatting. God bless him. My CEO looks at me and he goes, we're going to send him a round of shots. And I was like, they're on a date. And he was like, even better. Power moves, Gena. Power moves in 2020. And I was like, okay. So we send them. I was like, if we're going to make it a power move, we're going to leave. We're going to write a note. We're going to write a note and then I'm going to sign that bitch. And so like, that is a real power move. Or is it psycho? Is it a power move or psycho move? He's on a date. I don't know, but I did it anyway. We send over the round of shots and he like immediately like he starts laughing. He texts me. He's like, where are you? He comes over. It turns out he's actually not on a date. Well, he actually sent a round first back to us with a note that said, heart you. And then he came over and we chatted, whatever. And so there was like a little back and forth and he was like, we should hang out again. What do we think the chances are that he's actually going to hang out? Like, I feel like by now I would have heard from him, right?
Yeah, 10%.
10%, right? Because at this point he was like
5%.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think you're in your prime anymore. Prime Gena, it's 10%. This Gena, it's like, I'll say 5.5%.
Oh, please. He was like, I didn't recognize you from across the bar. He's like, you're hiding behind that bun. I was like, oh, this is my like Gena from the block look. I had like a big messy bun and big earrings in. And I was like, sorry, I know. This is not the way I normally look. But he was cute. He looked cute. And I don't know. So we'll see what happens. But he asked what I was doing for the Super Bowl and I already have plans. So we'll see if he like reaches out after that. But
is it a vagina flap fumigation? Is that your plans for the Super Bowl?
Wow. No, I'm going to Daniels. I don't even know who's playing in the Super Bowl.
The Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep, sure.
Eastern Illinois' very own Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm sure many women who listen to this podcast, even if they don't give a fuck about sports, know who that good-looking man is.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, before this goes any further, I need to quickly Google that for you.
I'm really just going for the booze, the commercials, and the halftime show. Oh, yeah, he's hot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll watch him.
You don't say.
Now I'm cheering for the Kansas City.
No, that's the 49ers.
Oh, 49ers. Whatever.
You're such a sporto.
Anyway, so it'll be fun. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever hear from him. To be continued, friends. To be continued.
To be continued. Well, that's kind of an interesting story. Hopefully you hear from him. And if not, hey, buddy, get fucked.
I mean, right? But that was kind of cute. That would be such a meet cute.
Yeah.
Like, what a great, adorable story.
I'm glad that I do something in my life that allows me to both say and hear the phrase meet cute on a semi-regular basis.
Same. I totally got that from The Holiday.
I got it from my favorite podcast, How Did This Get Made?
Oh.
In other news, so there's been some crazy shit going on in my life. So I've mentioned in a couple other episodes so I've gotten a lot of random friend requests on Facebook, and I've sent quite a few as well, just like, as I'd said, trying to expand reach for the podcast and for my photography business. And it's been actually a pretty successful strategy on that regard. But it's also wound up in some awkward interactions and people reaching out.
You see the look on my face is not surprised.
Well, there's a story that, Gena, your mind is going to be fucking blown.
All right, tell me.
Like, I low-key have a stalker.
Oh, I love a good stalker.
Yeah, no, like, I have a stalker. Okay, so here's the story. These are the players.
Okay.
Myself. I am, for all intents.
Set the scene.
I'm setting the scene. The players. For all intents and purposes, I am the protagonist of this.
Jesus.
All right.
Okay.
The other characters are two women, neither of which that I know.
Okay.
But they apparently are friends. One I have a lot of mutual friends with. I passingly know her, but I don't know her. I've never met any of them.
Okay.
And then there's a man who is the ex-boyfriend of the other one.
Okay.
Okay, so two women, this other dude, and me. I don't know any of them. This story begins with me having zero contact with any of them.
Okay.
I like friends on Facebook, just liking stuff, not commenting, just a couple likes here and there, not even paying attention. And apparently I had given like 2 likes over the span of like a week onto some girls' statuses.
Okay.
And I get a really weird, fucked up message from a dude on Facebook that immediately leads to like, I wake up to like 10 messages from him being like, what's your relationship with her? What's going on with her? How do you know her?
Wait, can I call timeout?
Sure.
I can't see likes anymore on mine. I'm in that test pool.
This is Facebook, kid.
Oh, Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go on.
He's like, what's the deal with this girl? How do you know her? And I'm like, dude, I don't really know her. And he's like, I saw you like 2 of her photos, and that like I know you're dating her. She's entertaining you. I know she is. She's already using it against me. And I'm like,
whoa.
Oh yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know these people at all. But funny story. So then the other girl who over the years I sort of know and have talked to a little bit, like again, never met. She lives cross country, but she grew up the same place I grew up. She reaches out to me and is like, hey, how do you know this person? And it's this other girl. And I'm like, oh, that's funny you mentioned that, because I don't. And like 2 hours ago, apparently her ex-boyfriend sent me like 400 crazy ass messages on Facebook. And she's like, wait, seriously? So then she goes into like a little story about like how great that girl is, and she's like so surprised, and it's so fantastic. Then I'm just like, that. I mean, whatever. I don't know any of you. My role in this needs to be minimized. And then the next day, I wake up to a message from that girl, and it says, "Hey, I was really drunk last night. Yeah, stay away from that."
Oh,
it gets worse. So block them both on Facebook.
Smart.
Yes, the dude and the girl, not the other girl, because like, as I said, I'm kind of friendly with her. I've known for a long time. Now I get a message on my photography Instagram page from the dude again, starting to harass me. Now he starts sending me like naked photos of this chick, of her
Why?
drunk as fuck. Like, she sent a photo when this all went down. And when I was just like, hey, just when it started, I was like, hey, I don't know you. I'm like, I'm going to unfriend you because this is fucked up. This dude is doing this. You should know. And she's like, no, fuck him. Look at this. Immediately sends me a picture of him like on the floor, just drugged out of his mind, pants like off his ass, a bag of Coke on his couch, and he's just blasted.
Who are these people?
Trash.
Oh my
they
God,
are
that's
trash.
making me so uncomfortable right now.
Oh, so she sends that, and then when he starts sending me messages on my photography Instagram, I'm just like trying to keep it at arm's length. Be like, dude, you're blowing this. Like, trust me, I don't know your girl. I want no part of this. Like, leave. Like, I'm like, you're making a fucking mistake. Just stay up. Like, dude, you seriously do not do this. And he just keeps pressing. And then he's, like I said, starts sending pictures and like telling crazy stories and pictures of like him with a black guy and her like choked out. And it's literally like in the time it can take me to type like one response, he sent like 100 messages. Like he's got screenshots, literally hundreds of screenshots over years, and he's just sending them like rapid fire, one right after another. And I'm just like, dude, I'm going to have to call the police.
Yeah.
Like, you're making me super fucking nervous.
Yeah.
This is how
murders happen.
Yeah, I'm like, you are legit fucking crazy. I'm like, I'm not trying to talk to a girl that, keep in mind, is not even your girlfriend.
But here's the other part of it that makes me very uncomfortable. She should be very uncomfortable about that. Like, again, this is how murders happen. Like, people... This is like, I can't even tell you how many true crime podcasts I've listened to that like start out with a similar situation. Like that guy's crazy.
Oh yeah.
She needs to get it. She needs to call the cops on him.
For sure.
I mean, you should too, because it's weird that he's doing that. But like that girl 1000% needs to get some sort of paper trail going, because that is
I think she has. I think she has. Yeah, like when this all went down, I started Googling names to see like arrest records and shit, because I was like,
smart.
Yeah. Oh, you know who come on.
I know. You and the fucking
who you talking
interwebs.
to? Yeah. I am the Matrix, motherfuckers.
You are.
So I started like Googling names and finding like arrest records and shit, and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? But then, so now,
does it tell you what the arrest record is for?
Well, she had one for like, she had a domestic on her.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and dude, their lives are fucked. I honestly feel bad. Like right now, I do not want this to sound like I'm going for laughs at their expense, because in my limited communication with her, where I was like, I said, I was like, you need to like start being very careful.
Yes.
You need to, I'm like, and I'm not mad at him. I was like, I feel terrible for him. I'm like, everyone's had a bad breakup. Everyone's like gone through some shit. I was
yeah, but we don't all handle it like that.
Well, no shit, but maybe he's mentally ill. Who fucking knows? I'm not out here making judgments about people.
True.
Yeah,
also, probably why she needs the paper trail.
Yeah, and I was just like, you need to call the police. You need to never talk to me again. You need to like, but this is not slighting any. But so now I'm on like high alert about friend requests from people I don't know. Flash forward.
Oh dear.
I get a friend request from a dude. He's a guy who does not live in the town that I grew up in, but a close by suburb. His pictures are very softball-y, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I played like high-level competitive softball for like 7 years in my 20s. I was like a douchebag. And maybe I know this guy, whatever, yeah. I'll accept it, fine. And we had a couple friends in common, seems legit. So I get it, and I'm looking through shit, and I'm trying to figure out like how I know him, and I'm like a little on edge because of this other dude. Mm-hmm. So I reach out to a woman I know that we have friends in common, and it's a girl I've known for a long time, and like she plays softball as well. And she recently started dating a new dude, and I thought maybe it was like him, and that he was somehow suspicious of me as her friend. So I reached out and I was like, "Hey, is this dude your boyfriend?" And she's like, "No, it's just he's friends with my boyfriend." And then I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, you've humanized him. I'm not like nervous of it anymore." Well, then messages me yesterday. And it's like, hey.
He does?
Sure does.
Okay.
Hey, do you remember me? Because I know who you are.
Oh, fuck.
Guys, I'm going to get murdered.
Here's the thing. Like, I know I joke with you about
just
like
wait.
Being an influencer, blah, blah. That is a real problem. Like, that's why my shit's not public. And like, that has gotten me into trouble a couple of times where like I've accepted, that guy who called me the C word.
Yeah. And that guy that called you the C word, Laura Loves It Too, the food blogger. Yes. She had to block him as well because he called her a fat cunt as well.
Yeah. He's a dick. He's a piece of shit and should be like whatever.
He
put
should
down,
have
but like,
he should have battery cables put to his testicles and hooked up to a lawnmower engine every fucking day.
yeah, he's the worst kind. And like
just got a boner.
that taught me a lesson to like be extra careful. And so I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here for you for something like this, but like that's the problem with having the podcast, right? Is like you have fans. Like I have people reach out all the time that I don't know that I'm like, do I accept them? I kind of have to because they're like when they're connected to you, that's usually what it is. When they're connected to you and the podcast,
You know
then
that
I'm like,
they've been
okay,
vetted.
yeah, exactly. Otherwise, like I don't just accept stranger requests because this is I'm very candid about my life on my Instagram, and so like if you're invited to see it,
it's not quite as curated as mine.
It's not curated. No, it's just me, and so I feel like that could be scary
for sure.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you know that story goes a little bit further.
No.
So there's someone, a person who has also friend requested me on Facebook in the last couple of months, and I don't know them, and I just accepted it, and was like liking a lot of my statuses, interacting with a lot of my shit. So yesterday, I realized, like, I'm just like, something pops up in my news feed. I click one thing, and I see this dude is her ex-boyfriend.
Oh, there you go.
Yup. And again,
why would you know him though? Isn't that what he said to you? Do you recognize?
In the conversation, he made it all about softball. We used to hang out with the same people.
Oh.
You know my memory.
Yeah.
I've never met this dude. I have no fucking idea who he is.
That's weird.
I was like, this dude, I know everyone. I am like the fucking Rain Man. And this dude I've never met. But so I noticed that they've been dating, and then it hits me. This dude also is like, I maybe have liked like one or two posts over the last like month. They broke up a couple months ago. It appears.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like, oh, this guy with all of his like.
That's crazy. I was actually just telling this story the other day. Like, it's one thing to know, right? It's one thing we all do it. We all check out other people's shit, right? Like if you are dating someone and you break up and you're like, who's that new person?
I'm never reaching out to the new person.
No, never. But you know what happened to me once, which I think is really funny. I was, there was this guy, he was so cute. It was like, gosh, it was right after my divorce maybe. And he was so cute, but he was like, definitely like a piece of shit guy. You can tell he like loved the ladies. Anyway, we hung out for a little bit, and then we stopped seeing each other. And he started to post all these like posts on Instagram with this new girl, and I was like, "Who's this bitch?" And so of course I look because I'm human and I'm curious,
right?
And so like of course then I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, "Oh, she's kind of cute. Okay, I get it. Right? Whatever." I saw her in Nordstrom one day. And I hid behind a rack because I was like, oh my God, that's her. And then I was like, wait a minute, Gena, she doesn't know who you are. You just know who she is. But I would never, ever, ever never reach out to someone. That's fucking weird. Like that, you're taking that too far.
Yeah.
There's a general curiosity, which I understand. But like once there's a touch point there, then you're fucking losing your shit.
I remember when I was 19, I dated a girl for about a year, and she cheated on me at the end with a dude that I didn't know, but I knew of. And we certainly like had the same social circles, and he lived very close to me. And it was highly likely we would run into each other at some point, given like, and I reached out to him, and I can't even, in this day looking back, I'm like, 19-year-old fucking idiot. What was I doing? Like that's as a fully formed,
as an adult.
Yeah. As a fully formed adult, at least the most a man can be anyway. I don't recommend doing that. When you get broken up with and you're heartbroken and shit sucks and you're like, what are they doing? And you know, I'm sitting here sad and depressed. They're out here with some new dude. Don't friend that dude. And you know what?
Do not.
If you're looking through her posts and checking to see who's liking them and then being like, oh, here's a good looking dude who liked 2 posts, I'm going to friend him.
This is why I think you should block your exes.
Go to the doctor, bro.
Block your exes. Because then then it doesn't take up any headspace anymore.
I've blocked like 70 people in the last 3 days.
Honestly, best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Because then you just kind of don't have to think about it anymore. And you don't have a way to like find that person anymore. And it, I mean, you can always unblock them, but that's like a whole step that just feels unnecessary. So it's like, why? Well, that is insane. I'm glad you're alive, but now it's on record. So if you're not alive soon, we all know where to look.
Yeah, I was concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the potential for death there. That could happen for sure.
I feel like though, if you were to ever get murdered.
Podcast.
No. The poor police would have such a hard time figuring out who it is because of all the people that slide into your DMs. They're going to be like, what the fuck? There's so many suspects. You're totally screwed, man. So please don't get murdered, because then it may never ever be solved.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. Okay. Just be careful.
And if I'm murdered, it's probably going to be by a white woman, and white women never get caught for doing anything, really.
Wow.
Be privileged. It's
Wow.
true. Okay, well, beyond my getting murdered and your chance encounter with an ex-lover.
Mm-hmm. We never even had sex. Isn't really a lover.
That's weird. You bang everybody.
I know. That's what's so weird, is that like I don't even... It was so weird. Wait, speaking of banging everybody, which we all know I don't. He's joking, you guys. But I actually canceled a date with somebody last night because...
Vaginal flies?
No, shut up. No, because he asked to connect on Instagram, and I said, okay. And then he said to me, wait, you are married? Or wait, you have a boyfriend? And I was like, what? No, I don't have a boyfriend.
Daniel?
Probably is my guess. And I was like, no, I don't. And he's like, you have a son? And I was like, nope, that's my nephew. Like, click in it and read it. You'll see that neither one of those are true. And then he goes, you're right. Asking you for your Instagram was a bad idea, because I stopped scrolling after I ran into 15 men and got to your wedding photos. And I wrote back, ooh, well, that's my life. Like, I'm not going to not share it. Like, I'm not one to delete photos after I break up with someone. That. Yeah. So
I am.
Well, I'm not. So it's like, this is my life. Like this is me. And if you don't like it, then like, you're not my guy.
If we're over, you don't exist anymore.
Oh, see, I mean, I'll block you, but like, is that not the most insulting thing? Like,
yes,
I felt like that was pretty insulting. Like, I stopped scrolling past the 15 guys, and I looked at my thing, and I was like, it's DJ and Joe and Daniel. Like, that's it. I
think I'm on it once.
Yeah, you're on it a couple times. Yeah. I was like, and I actually said that. I was like, these people are like just my very good friends. Right. I was like, so I don't. If that's a problem, then we can't.
And you're like, yeah, so what?
But then he also goes, well, so I see two differences here, and I was like, what's that? And he goes, you love a good selfie. He's like, I hate taking them. And I was like, you think I love a good selfie? You should look at my co-host. He loves a good selfie.
I bet you
I've got like an actual legit selfie. I probably have maybe 4 in that entire Instagram feed. So I was like, what is he talking about? Like, they're all...
The camera loves me, Gena.
I know, buddy. I know. Anyway, so I was like, that's weird. And then he said... And then the other thing was that he's very reserved. And I said, well, you haven't listened to the podcast yet. So if you're concerned about my Instagram being too like, this is who I am, then don't listen to the podcast. So, but he was very nice. And I just was like, hey, listen, I just don't think this is going to we're not going to mesh, and I don't want to waste anyone's time and whatever. And he was very, very, very nice about it. And I actually said, I was like, why don't you give the podcast a listen? So, hi, you might be listening.
Okay.
Give the podcast a listen. And if you, you decide that it's not too much for you, you can let me know. And I haven't heard from him.
That's not surprising.
So, yeah. But I think in 2020, that's my thing, is like, I'm starting to weed the people out a little bit faster. Like,
I mean, he weeded you out technically, I think.
Well, no, he was still interested in like going out.
Even
and
after he said that, like,
yes. Yeah. And I said to him, I was like, felt a little aggressive. He goes, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I don't know if it was like a cultural thing. There might've been some differences there. And he's just very like forward and abrupt. And I just was not used to that. But I don't think he had ill intent saying it. I think he just was speaking his mind. And I just kind of have been in this mood of like my time in 2019, I would just like kind of go out with anyone, even if I wasn't super sure about them. And then like we talked about, like it started to kind of take up time that I should have been spending with friends. And then I like, my friendships were a little strained for a minute there. So for me, 2020, it was like, I don't have time for this. And so I'm going to start weeding them out a little bit earlier. So that's what I did.
That's probably for the best.
I know. And then I hung out with Tab. So that was fun.
Tab's amazing. So, well, that's I think a good wrap on that section of the show. There's a few things in the news happening this week that I want to talk about. This next one, it might sound weird, and it's a little bit of a sort of a pivot from the rest of the episode. I know you're thinking, oh, our listeners are mostly women and, no one gives a shit about basketball. I'm sure everyone knows by now, clearly Kobe Bryant died. it's crazy to me, first of all, like how much of an icon that guy was, and seeing all the tributes and the outpouring of like love and support, and and I even have like a tie. I'm going to tie this back to what our show's about. 9 dead in a helicopter crash. That's absurd. It doesn't matter who it is. The fact that it's this man that was like so beloved. I'm a huge NBA fan. I watched the Lakers game last night, which was the first game since that happened. I cried when Boyz II Men sang the national anthem. I cried when Usher sang Amazing Grace. I cried when LeBron gave his speech. I cried listening to Shaq talk about him like a brother. I mean, it was crazy. It's weird. A lot of people in the aftermath of this, during the outpourings of love and tribute and support, there's also been plenty of people who've mentioned, an unfortunate part of Kobe Bryant's past, the 2003 rape allegations. And that's not something to be taken lightly at all. But to me, as someone whose family members and myself are survivors of abuse and understand like how like the damage that can do to people, what's real is that the only people that really know what happened in that room are Kobe and that woman. And he did commit adultery for sure. But that said, coming out of that, he proved to be a tremendous ally, to advocate for underprivileged groups. He was tremendous in his community. He was an incredible father, and his impact, raising his daughters, I was not particularly close to my father, and I know those girls have every advantage, so they still should have a wonderful life, but that's going to be a huge thing missing. I personally don't have kids. Who knows if I ever will. And it's just been like so heartbreaking, and it's such a crazy thing to happen.
I mean, it is really heartbreaking. I think my biggest pet peeve of this whole thing, though, has been like friends of mine posting on Facebook, and they'll say like, as a mother, I can't imagine, whatever. And I'm like, as a human being, right? Like I get because they're kids, blah, 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 right? I get it. But like as a human being, this is like losing someone like your husband and your child. Like you don't have to be a mother to understand what that feels like.
Right.
But I get it. But I also just kind of think like that feels like a very narrow-minded view. But I also think the rape stuff, it feels, it like, just like we said, like it's part of his past. It is.
He's got a complex legacy.
Sure.
And
I almost feel like it's bad taste to bring it up when someone dies.
Right.
Right. Like I feel like that's the family's mourning. There's a lot of people mourning.
Right.
I think that is a terrible thing for people to keep, and like in the news to keep bringing up, because I've seen it a lot, and I'm like, just let him. I think rest in peace.
I mean,
like,
I understand it from the element of, if you are a victim of abuse or an abuse survivor, seeing that can be triggering, and that's hard.
Yeah.
But it's like we all are complex. We all make mistakes, and did he potentially sexually assault that woman? Certainly. But did she potentially lie? That could have happened too. Nobody knows but them.
Yeah.
And the reality, the things that we do know is that he did innumerable things for his communities, for his family, for the NBA, for the world at large. He was an icon. The amount of young men that he motivated to display the level of like work ethic and grit and determination that he had, that's definitely something that can be admired.
Totally. I really like, I saw, obviously as we've established in this episode, I don't do sports, but I did see that at the Lakers game the other day, they did like a whole tribute to him, but I really liked that.
I cried for 20 straight minutes.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't actually watch it, but I saw the pictures of it. And I really like how they put the other people who passed their names up on the...
Yeah, and when LeBron did his speech, he read their names first and then finished with Gena and Kobe.
Yeah, because I think it's also hard to overshadow that too, right? Like those families are hurting. Those families lost, like the one guy who was the coach, who was the coach.
John Altobelli.
Yes, thank you. He has 2 kids that now don't have parents or a sister. So like that's heartbreaking.
And he doesn't have $500 million either.
Right, exactly. So there are others who are suffering greatly throughout the tragedy, and at first I was like, come on guys, like the news outlets, like you've gotta, let's say their names more, because I totally get the Kobe piece of this, but like there are other people out there who are hurting, who don't necessarily have the support from the masses and money and all that kind of stuff. So it was really, really sad. And it's been a topic everywhere I go. People keep talking about it, clients, and Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you can't avoid
can't
it. And
get away
it's been
from it.
polarizing on social media. I mean, what you're hearing now is just like our opinions. We don't know shit. I mean, it's just how I feel and how Gena feels. But it's a complex issue, and there's really, I don't think, a right or a wrong answer. And I know as a guy who is a huge NBA fan, a lot of my friends are. It's something that I've seen a lot of in the last week. So
yeah.
kind of shifting back into a little more interesting and uplifting topics. I just saw this week. So Tinder has added a panic button.
What?
Or they're adding a panic button and photo verification. So the anti-catfishing tech they're doing is basically photo verification, just like Bumble. But what's going to be happening is on Bumble, it's not mandatory.
Right.
On Tinder, I believe it's going to be mandatory, and it's not just going to be one selfie; it's many selfies.
Good.
So, like doing this thing, your fingers up, 2 fingers in front of your face, you're smiling, or whatever, like doing all the things, and
good Tinder.
Yeah, they definitely need to do that. And then this is kind of crazy. The panic button, apparently this technology will enable users to alert emergency services and transmit highly accurate location data. And before meeting someone, they'll be able to save information about that person and when and where the data is taking place. If they hit this panic button, immediately emergency services will be alerted with the details along with their location.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, Tinder coming up from behind with some real shit there.
Seriously. That's the one app that I haven't used, but man, with something like that, I could.
Well, and I tell you all the time, when people when people see that video that we're going to put up and you see me hear me saying something so douchey, I'm talking about the fact that, you hear Bumble as the women focused app. And I don't believe it is. I think it's on face value seems that way, but with any nuanced, real in-depth dive on it, you can tell it's very slanted towards men.
Yeah.
And this is another step in the right direction for Tinder. On Tinder, you can't send pictures, so no unwanted dick pics.
Oh, you can't. I didn't know that.
You cannot. On Tinder, you're now going to have this verification service that seems to be more robust than Bumble, and also this panic thing. I mean, I think this is a great move from Match Group, the company that owns all those dating apps, to solidify Tinder's role there.
Yeah, I like that. I actually really like that. I just, the one that has like the worst, I don't use it, but OkCupid apparently has the worst catfishing. Like everyone I know who's been catfished on OkCupid, which is just crazy and not surprising because I feel like.
And that's weird that you say that because most lists of like top dating apps listed as the number one app.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. You can always buy your way into something like that too, right? Like in a story. Sure.
I mean, but like real, like lists, you can see that it's not like paid placement for it's like real sites and like.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have some friends who are on it and they've gotten,
Julie.
Yeah. Thank you. She always gets catfished on that. I don't know. It's hard. And so anyway, I'm glad that they're putting that into place and more so less the catfishing thing and more so the panic button thing. That's actually very cool. Except I would like to know, do I have to be in the app for it? Because like what happens if you can't get to it?
I don't know.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe it's a widget on your home screen or something. Because I know I'm on iPhone, you can't. I don't know how widgets work, but I know on Android you can do like widgets. So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know what the application of that's going to look like. But even if it's like Tinder's on your home screen, you hit Tinder and you hit the panic button. I mean, what's an extra half second? I mean, could be life or death.
Well, yeah, could be. Well, I'm not going to go there, but yeah, scary.
Could be scary. All right, you know what it's a good time for?
What?
I think it's time for you to tell us a little bit more about our sponsor.
Drum roll. All right. So today's show again is sponsored by us. To support our wonderful sponsors.
That'd be us.
We want you to go to Teespring, TEESPRING.com. Is that a backslash?
/
stores / Menage-A-Podcast.
And that will also be in the show notes.
Yep. To pick up a piece of our newly designed merch. So TJ's been working really hard on this. We're all very proud of him. Hot off the presses, direct to you. And the must-have item is the comfort tee with our bubble logo. Ooh. You can get it. His face. I wish you guys could see his face. You get it in 3 colors, black, white, and my favorite, the heather blue. The shirt's really comfortable and looks great on anyone. And for $24.99, you can get this great shirt and help us continue to keep delivering fun and relatable content. We also have hoodies. Those are my favorite.
Love the hoodies.
Stickers, also my favorite. And other official Menage-A-Pod merchandise. So check it out again at teespring.com /stores // / Really hard to say. Menage-A Podcast.
Yeah. So remember, guys, just like Gena said, check us out at teespring.com/stores/Menage-A-Pod.
It's hard, right? / It's too hard to say.
It is saying it twice in a row.
Yeah, it's too much. But yeah, check it out, guys, because there's cool stuff. There's like the phone cases, which could be really cool.
There's like a throw pillow. It's cool.
There's
like
a throw
accent
pillow?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I have to get that.
You should definitely get it.
Does it match my house? Maybe we should make one that matches my house.
We will. So right now we have the main color is black, but there are some other color options that I'm thinking about adding. So
cool.
Give us some feedback.
Throw that on the bed.
Check it out. Oh, if you,
hey,
it'd be like you have us right there with you, boo.
That's like not creepy at all. We'll just be talking in your ear. We'll be whispering moves.
If we're being
TJ will be whispering moves in your ear.
If we're being real, the odds that I've already been in your bed are pretty high anyway.
That's also fair. That's fair. Maybe what we should do is make one that talks, and it's like just TJ's voice, like
slow
sweet
and low.
Nothings in your ear.
Oh my God.
That's next.
So
That's next.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Wow.
Could you imagine? I'd like, if I would roll over in the middle of the night and accidentally hear that, I'd be like, what the fuck? Then I'd hit the panic button on Tinder.
You hit the pillow and I'm like, you taste incredible.
I would die. Ew.
Okay. Well, back to the news. Did you see the thing a couple weeks ago about Sharon Stone getting booted off Bumble?
I saw that.
Yeah. It's hysterical. So guys, Sharon Stone, the actress of Basic Instinct fame. I know a lot of our listeners are a little bit younger, but she is still at 61 years old, absolutely gorgeous. She's brilliant. IQ of like 180. She's a Mensa member. She's like brilliant and sexy even at 61. So what happened, if you guys don't know, is a bunch of people kept seeing her profile on Bumble and not believing that it was actually her and reporting it as fake. So she kept getting banned.
Aw, poor thing.
And she's so sexy.
Also, why isn't she on like Raya?
I mean, 60. I mean, Raya is probably pretty ruthless for a 61-year-old.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right. You're right. Oh, that's a bummer. Poor her.
Yeah, but I mean, this is actually kind of funny though. If I lived in LA, I mean, I would have seen her on there because my dating range is 18 to 80.
I know.
Yeah.
You totally would have, and you should have gone out with her.
Sharon Stone, on the off chance, we are including you in the show notes for SEO purposes. So maybe you have Google mentions set to your name and you're going to hear that we talked about you.
Call me.
You're going to listen to the podcast. I'm even going to put a timestamp as to when we're talking about. So you don't even have to listen to the whole podcast. Just get to this point. Follow me at Chicago Cafe Racer. We will go out.
Wow.
It'll be a good time. You got money? You can fly me out to LA.
Totally.
Let's do this.
Totally.
All right. All right. Then there's one more kind of funny thing we wanted to talk about before we took off. I know we've had other times where we've talked about like the new trendy buzzwords and fucking silly things all the kids are saying on the apps and in the streets with their bays and their fleeks and the cash me outside. How about that? Yeah. So every couple of years, there's a new series of words like ghosting and helicoptering. And there's a couple new ones for 2020 that we thought you guys should be on the lookout for. Gena, this one, the first one. Cosplaying.
Oh.
Like CAUSE.
Oh.
Basically, it's when someone that you dated and dumped or were dumped by, they reappear to kind of ask you for something like, hey, donate to my charity. Oh, yeah. Like my motorcycle ride that I send to everyone I've ever dated.
Yeah.
Donate to my charity. So I've done cosplaying, signature on this petition, volunteer on this political campaign. So that's
I don't think that's so bad.
No. It's not. I mean, we're all just trying to make a better world.
Yeah.
I don't judge that too much. I mean,
listen, and if you can use your harem of women to do that, then I am all for it.
To donate money for a good cause. Yeah, men's mental health and prostate cancer charities.
I'm in it.
Yeah. So ladies, if you're listening right now and you know me, next year around September, you'll be getting a text message or email asking you to donate to the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride.
It'll be like an email. It'll be like a DM blast. I don't even know if you can do that.
I'm going to do it. Oh, man. Yeah. Ooh, but I'm going to make sure I got a blind carbon copy of everybody, BCC.
Yeah. You don't want all the ladies to know.
Okay. And here's a good one, Gena. Dial toning.
Oh.
One less step intense than ghosting. This dating trend is when a prospect gives you their phone number, but then doesn't respond when you contact them.
Why would you give your phone number then?
Okay,
I would give a fake one.
I'm overwhelmed a lot of times with it. There's just like a lot going on. It's hard to keep up with. And I go through periods of being like, all right, I got all these matches and I'm just not responding to any of them. I just can't handle it. And at some point, women will get to a period where they'll be like, what's your fucking deal?
Yes. I recall.
Yeah. Now I feel like I have to leave this.
I'm feeling triggered.
And And then I'm always like, oh, sorry, like I suck about responding, because it's real. I do. It's not an intentional me. Just like, it's like, I think I'm all into it. Then I'm like, oh, now I got like.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this when the one girl wrote in and asked that question. It's usually because there's too many women for them. This is always my advice to people. There's too many people that they're talking to, and you're not the priority on their list right now. So fuck them.
But it's not even that. Like, it's like, so I get, it's like, what's your problem? And then invariably, what I do a lot, or it'll be like, hey, their first message to me will be like, I've matched with you like 13 times and you never respond. And if you lead with that, I will immediately respond with my phone number.
Okay. Ladies out there. There you go. That's the way to get it. Although I feel like at this point, it's probably like written across a couple bathroom walls at this point. So it's probably really easy to get. You might want like a separate phone. People have like two phones, one for work, one for personal. You need like one for dating.
Jenna's vagina flies fly in formation and like my phone number. It's
like that. Wow. Wow. You're such an asshole.
Okay. Here's one. Exoskeletoning. This is a good one. And because we just talked about it. This dating trend is the skin crawling scenario where your partner's ex reaches out to you continuously, either to befriend you or simply cyberstalk you.
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
I mean, it's happened to me twice in this week.
Yeah.
They're going to murder me. Okay, glamboozled. Jenna, you'll get this.
Glamboozled?
Yeah.
I like the sound of it.
Getting canceled on sucks. How bad does it suck?
It sucks, yeah.
But it probably sucks a lot more for you than me. You know why?
Because it sounds like you have 8,000 people matching with you a day.
No, well, yes, that, but more so because it's like, oh, I'm going on a date. What am I going to wear? Oh, a t-shirt, a cardigan, and some jeans, and I might trim my beard, but I'm going to look fine either way.
Oh gosh, are you getting, can I guess now?
Yeah.
It's because you've wasted an outfit and done your hair. Like there's nothing worse than wasting a good hair day.
Good hair, well, not the time, the money. So getting canceled on sucks, but never so much as when the can't make it sorry text comes after you spent the past hour primping and trying on everything in your closet.
Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, I agree.
For your now non-existent date.
I'm over that, yeah.
So that is glamboozled.
That's a good one. I like that one. I mean, I don't want it to ever happen to me again, but I like the word.
This next one is incredible.
Okay, what?
It's called being Kanye'd.
Uh-oh.
3 guesses on what this means.
Someone goes crazy?
Sure, that's part of it. But it's too easy. I don't want to give you 3 guesses.
Someone's wearing all neutrals? Oh, okay, what?
Hey, these are very true. Yes. Getting Kanye'd is when your date won't shut up about themselves and won't let you get in a word edgewise.
Oh.
45% of people have been subject to an egomaniac's monologue while on a date.
Sure. I have.
Sure. I mean, everyone who's ever gone out with me has. Have I told you about the podcast? Tune in at Menage-A-Podcast.
Oh my God. On your next date, will you please wear one of the t-shirts? Under a cardigan.
Jenna.
Do it.
Jenna.
What?
Jenna. Here's one more and then we can wrap. Oh, actually 2 more. They're quick though.
Okay.
Typecasting. I hate when I'm looking at dating profiles. And it's like, oh, my Myers-Briggs. Oh, my emergency.
I hate that.
Oh,
it's like, who fucking cares?
Man, I don't give a fuck.
No.
I don't care.
It's also like does it have to be a personality type? Is that why they're calling it typecasting? Because like, remember the taco thing and everyone says the same thing? Yeah,
it's definitely this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It says 27% of daters have been asked about their Myers-Briggs or love language by a potential partner.
Ew. Oh, yeah. I've seen love language on a lot. And the thing is
I put it on Hinge just because I know I'm kind of a bitch and women are like, oh, look at this tall bearded guy whose love languages are words of affection and physical touch. That sensitive bear man.
Yeah, I don't really understand it because the thing is it's like, even if your love language don't necessarily match up, that's actually an interesting way to look at it. Cause I was thinking like, do your love languages match up? And then like how easy that relationship would be. Cause you wouldn't have to like think about making sure that you were extra affectionate or whatever it may be. So that's where I thought you were going with that, but I guess not.
I just got a text message from one of the parties of the Love Quadrangle Part 2. I just wanted to apologize again for all this nonsense. I saw that you unfriended me, and that's totally understandable. It was fun while it lasted.
The girl?
The girl. Oh, no, I blocked him.
Oh.
I blocked him and just unfriended her. And yeah, so I just want to apologize again for all this nonsense. I saw you unfriended me, and that's totally understandable. Hey, this might make great material for your podcast.
Yeah, it did.
And so it is.
Thank you for that.
Okay, this is actually super quick wrap up one, and Jenna, you'll love this. It's called yellow carding. You know what that is? It's when you've been on a bad date. Everyone's been on a bad date, but when someone calls their bad date out, like on the date.
Oh.
Yeah. When you're just like, you know what, you're being offensive, you're being rude, you're this. When you call out a thing you see and you're just out.
Honestly, I feel like that's
Yellow
my
card.
2020 vibe. Like not in a mean way, but just sort of like hey, this isn't vibing with me. Like I don't really like this.
Vibrating with you.
No. I met a guy actually recently who uses the word vibing a lot. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I like it.
I liked it the first couple of times, but like now I feel like it's like his thing. I don't know. I can't tell.
I think we're done with the news. Crazy, all the stuff that's happening, all the exciting, fun things, and hopefully, live shows, things like that.
Yeah.
We'll have more stuff like that going forward.
Next week, though, guess who's coming on again?
Oh, man.
I'm
GQ50.
so excited. Honestly, I don't remember what we talked about. Did I tell us on air last time? Like I was drunk at the wedding and we talked about a topic and I don't remember what the topic was. So now I have to follow up with them and be like, what did we say the topic was?
You sent me something about
I did?
it. Yeah, maybe a screenshot of that. I'll look in our messages and find it.
Cool.
But yeah, we're having GQ50 from our Peacock Don't Cockblock episode. For those of you who don't remember GQ50, he's a good friend of mine, now a good friend of Jenna's, a good friend of the pod, hosts his own podcast called The Travel Guides. He is a jacked, good-looking dude. He's brilliant. He's a progressive. He's out here doing his best in this world, and we love him. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're going to end for today. Thanks again for stopping in, guys. I know we definitely have seen a pretty big explosion in listeners the last couple of weeks. For those of you who are binging from the beginning, I got to say, it gets better.
It does get better. Yeah.
I mean, that's something, when you grow as a podcast, that's something you always need to be concerned about. No one's great at this off the jump. We're not like professional broadcasters. We have good episodes, we have bad episodes. But I think we've gotten better. And if you like our guests, you like the general vibe, because I'm vibing on them. Vibing?
See, I think we're going to just maybe start adding that into our everyday.
All right. Yeah, we're going to add that. We're going to add that. Wait. I'm going to create a new sign off at the end of this, including
vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. So yeah, just make sure, if you are new to the pod, make sure you're following us at Menage-A-Podcast. If you see anything you like, share it, screenshot it, pass it around, tell your friends. It's the best thing you can do. We love doing this show. I'm super excited about having the merch. I can't wait for you guys to get some of it. It's fucking great. The shirt in particular looks cool. The hoodie is incredible. Get it. Go do that. Link's going to be in the show notes. And then if you have a topic you want us to explore, have any questions you want to ask, you can write to us at menagepod3@gmail.com or at Menage-A-Podcast on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening to us on Apple Podcasts. Thanks to Jenna, to me, to all you lovely babies out there taking this in your ear canals. Our voice is like having sex with your ears.
Wow.
Wait, hold on.
Low and slow. Do it.
To everybody out there taking in this audio journey, we are having sex with your ears. From Jenna and TJ's lips to yo booty and yo hips. That doesn't make sense, but it rhymed and I had to go there. So remember to rate, review, and subscribe on any of the devices that you listen to. And guys, good luck out there. You know why? It's a vibe.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye, guys.